Hello, everyone. Welcome to MYC Uncensored. And I'm Rubina, and today we're breaking down competitiveness in simple terms. Let's dive into why we are wired to compete and how it shapes our life. As I said it clear, today's topic I'm gonna talk about competitiveness. And first up, let's figure out why we are naturally competitive beings. From our brains to our history, I'll unpack why competition is a part of our DNA. Competing isn't always about beating someone. It can be a great motivator. We'll chat about how healthy competition pushes you to do better, achieve more, and be our awesome selves. But of course, too much of anything isn't great. I'll also talk about the not so fun side of competitiveness like stress, burnout, and when the friendly games turns not so friendly. So as I told before, like when competing becomes motivator, in a sense, it's like when you compete as a self, like when you compete your present self with the past self, and you look forward to move in a positive side and you want to be a better version of yourself, competing within self, that's also a great way to improve yourself and motivate yourself. Like if you look back and then suppose if I'm talking about a weight loss journey, if you look back and then you were upsized the weight like somewhere around 70, and then you want to go down around 50, you can look at the number and give more tough competition to yourself, and then push you more, like with a more hard workout, more routine, extreme routine, and then heavy diet, and where you can motivate yourself, look back at the number, and then you can change yourself. And that's a good way of competition. And but on the dark side of the competition, if I go out there, when you compete with other, when you compare yourself with other, that starts make you stress over nothing. Like if you speak generally, you will be stressing too much of things that you shouldn't be stressing, because uh, everybody has a different ability and every individual is a different individual, so everyone has their own strength. So you should focus on your own strength and then work on it rather than competing with other by focusing on their strength, if you know what I mean, because that will make you burn out. And then it might, when if you are competing with your friends, suppose it's a friendly game and you start being more competitive, then you might get into serious something issues. Like if you might heat up the room, you might change the atmosphere, like friendly games might turn down into fight. So not to there is a thin line between a friendly competition, and there is a thin line between healthy competition and unhealthy competition. So we need to be aware of that too. So uh did you know competitiveness look different depending on where you are? Like I said before, like um it it depends on how you are gonna deal with it and where you are and who you are competing with and what's the atmosphere over there. So I'm not gonna say that competition is all bad and you should not compete at all, because it's the one way to make you better, where uh you should you will get a chance to make yourself better competing with anyone, like if it's a healthy competition. But if other side, if it's like a unhealthy competition, like you're comparing somewhere with someone with so off, like if someone in your friend circle starts buying a gadget and you want to top up him, like buying more expensive gadgets, to, by this thing, I remember my own story back when I was in my high school. I didn't have my phone because my parents didn't allow me phone till certain age, and then my friends used to bring their own phone with their, like, every new Apple series they used to get it, and I used to invade them or maybe jealous. Yeah, you shouldn't be jail now that I know, but that back then I was so I started to compete. I started to pressure my parents, like, please give me that phone, please buy me that phone. I don't want the old version phone. And then because I was competing with my friends, even though they were not focused on competing with their gadget or with their phone, but in my brain I thought, like, I should be on top of them. And but on the other side, that was a very unhealthy competition, by the way. But on the other side, if I would have, like, compete in studies, I would have been much more better. But I didn't do that because my whole focus was on something else. My whole focus turned down into something else because I was teenage. I couldn't pay myself. Yeah, those A's were A's. Now the A's has taught me a bit more thing than before. Yeah, so if now you can start competition in your studies, like with your friends. That would be a very healthy competition. Like, in a group of friends, you can create you can set a benchmark, and then you can compete with each other, that who would get the benchmark of the marks, like. And that will be a very healthy competition, as in a sense that you will all work better to get a better marks. And then if you get a better good grades, then it works out well for everyone, not just one person, for everyone. You start studying more, and then you'll once you get into deep into the competition, not you will once you get deep into that topic, you'll even forget about the competition. You'll like it, you'll like studying. So yeah, that will be a very win-win situation. So that's a perfect example of healthy competition. And so we need to learn to balance out and to figure, like, to select which one is a good competition and which one is unhealthy competition. um, so shifting a gear a bit, let's talk about um, so let's talk about a competition in a personal relationship. I mean, in a relationship between a partner, like, if there is a couple and then they are working and earning, and if in the couple one partner earns more and other partner earns relatively less than that other partner, then there shouldn't be a competition in that field, I think, because that's gonna be a very that's gonna cause a very toxic problems in the relationships when one person start competing with other with the ego, not just about money, just with ego and every other thing. If they start competing, because relationship works together, not one on one. Okay, it's not about who's on the top or who's on the list. It's on balancing out each other. It might be 80% 20% sometime, or 20% 80% sometime, or 10% 90%, or 50-50. So we need to figure out that too, and we need to be very understanding, uh, and we need to be very down to the earth, because life can pull you down sometime and push you up. So uh, we should not be competing in something which might pull you down later on, even though you might be feeling superior at the moment. But what's the value of winning a competition if you are losing your friends or family member or your close ones? That competitions, that win will cause you a major loss, if you are getting what I mean. So yeah, we need to be aware of the fact that in the end, the competition is just a push for you to do better, but the thing that matters most is your family, your friends that you earn, because it's not easy to earn friends. And then if you but it's very easy to lose friends. So just be aware that friends, family, and the close one and the one that you love and that have loved you are most valuable than any money or your ego or anything. So we should not, in terms of competing or in terms of competition, we should not make anyone feel down, or you should not feel anyone feel we should not embarrass anyone. We shouldn't pass harsh comment, or we shouldn't say something bad that might downgrade their image, or for upgrading your image or policing your image, you shouldn't downgrade anyone. So yeah, that's what competition can turn out, have both flip of a coin, like heads and tail, both positive side and negative side. And then during the age teenies, like we tend to, we have a hormonal change, we have such hormones which makes us more competitive, like we want to be better than anyone. Yeah, that would be great. Like that sense is also good in us, in a positive aspect, like for studies and for other positive matter, like for discoveries and other being creative side. But if you start but on the but as I told before, like if you go on doing like a bad things, if you do, if like you would competing on trying with cigarettes, like who can smoke more, what's that's gonna harm you, nobody in the future and even in the present. So yeah, you should learn to differentiate what kind of competition is healthy and what kind of competition is not good for you in long term and short term. And but overall, what I'm gonna say today is like competition is not bad, and compete we just need to figure out which side of competition where we are gonna be on. So finding the sweet spot between competitiveness and collaboration is art. Like as I told, like we'll explore strategies for maintaining a healthy competitive spirit among colleagues without fostering a toxic environment. Even in our workplace, when we are competing, if we compete with a positive intention, that will be good for both company and the employee. But if we start competing in a very toxic way, or maybe just to downgrade, or just for the promotions, and then it's gonna affect on your work. It's gonna show up sooner or later. It's gonna show up. So yeah, you might not find out now. So, but in the present, but you will see the result. Like the fast track will always not work. So yeah, we should always we should also be clear that when we are in a when we are competing, or maybe we are when we are when we want to improve, we shouldn't go for the fast track, because it's not always good. It might lead you to a point, but the way you reach the point might not be good. The process that you've done to follow, that might also not be good. um so yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to say for today. Everybody who are listening to the podcast can share their past stories where they were turned out competitive, and then things might have not gone that you planned, or things might have gone better than you planned. Yeah, that's all for today, and thank you for listening. Bye.